My name is Carla Barban. I'm a Senior Product Manager for Alef Education. And today I'm here to talk to you about how Aleph is setting the roadmap for education to provide the skills of the future.
Look around you. The world is evolving. In the last decade, we have progressed much faster and further than we did in 100 years before that. Everything is changing. The economy is changing. The skill sets are changing. So what are we doing to prepare our children for that future rather than the world of the past? Our children need a new learning journey. A way of immersive, experience-based learning that will redefine how they think, analyze, and make decisions. Introducing Aleph, a paradigm shift in education. Aleph is an innovative education ecosystem that puts the student in the center of the learning environment. Aleph understands how children react to lessons and adapts the teaching process to each child. It can measure interest, aptitude, speed of adoption, boredom, and more. Aleph will prepare students to begin tackling society's future challenges early. Will the world have enough fresh water? What will be the next breakthrough innovation? How will automation affect us all? Aleph will help build the character and the much-needed 21st century skills. Innovation, collaboration and team play, creative thinking, and personal initiative. Artificial intelligence in Aleph helps every student learn at his own pace and dive much deeper into the subjects he or she is most interested in. Immersive technologies and machine learning algorithms are applied to augment the learning experience. Aleph can be accessed from anywhere and anytime. Its groundbreaking multimedia interface tracks learning competencies in real time for each student. With Aleph, the journey to knowledge is more personal, more engaging, and more fun for everyone. Welcome to the high-tech learning ecosystem for the 21st century. Welcome to Aleph.
So the world certainly has changed. Globalization and technology has and continues to transform our lives. And there's no bounds to where this innovative technology is going to take us or how that's going to impact our lives. And that's pretty exciting. But when we look at the education system today, is it really keeping up with all of this exciting, innovative world that we live in? Are our children really being prepared to live, thrive, and contribute in a global and ever-changing world? So, in short, is education providing the skills of the future? Today, what I'd like to talk to you about is four, and not the only, but four of the key challenges that we feel are facing, education's facing today. And then I want to introduce you to four of the approaches that Aleph is taking to help address these challenges. The first challenge is lack of engagement. I mean, look at children today. Outside of school, they are exposed to all sorts of technology and the latest and greatest gadgets. I mean, I look at my 2-year-old niece who can pick up a tablet and play a game intuitively without even having any instruction. Or children who are so used to communicating with each other virtually with people from all over the world. Some of their friends who they've actually never even met. Or if you need to know something, just Google it or look up the latest do-it-yourself video on YouTube and you can learn some new skill. Or use programs like Netflix, which are smart and they learn your likes and your dislikes as you go based upon your behavior. And then they personalize your experience and they make recommendations based upon those interests. It's hard to imagine even going a couple of this common technology in our daily lives. Yet, that's what happens in many classrooms. So the students' experience and the way that they're being taught is still very traditional. And then we wonder, why are they bored? Why is there a lack of engagement? And then think about the approach that we're taking to teaching and learning. It's still also very traditional in terms of the curriculum and how students are being taught. Too much is still based on rote learning, so learning things by heart. Like if you even take a look at the standardized tests that are given, a lot of that is based on if a student can recall information verbatim. This learning method does little to teach students the critical skills that they're going to need in their life, such as collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. And often, students forget the information as fast as they've learned it. The third big issue is data. There's certainly no problem with collecting data. We have tons of data that we're able to collect now. But is it really being used effectively? Are teachers able to access the right data at the right place and in the right time? Are they really able to use that information that's being collected in a timely way to really make a difference in a student's learning outcome? The answer is often no. All these big standardized tests our students take at the end of the year, well, as teachers and even as parents, often we don't even get the results until it's too late to change anything about it. So how do we expect to get in front of any of these issues and really correct the course of the ship if we're not getting progress in a timely manner? And in a way that as a teacher, I can intuitively understand and be able to take that data and take action on it right here, right now. The fourth issue I want to talk about is, while the education technology has grown as a field over the last few years, which is evident obviously by the conference we're at today, many schools and classrooms are still struggling to figure out how to adopt this new technology. According to one estimate, only 35% of EdTech tools purchased are actually implemented. Barriers to this successful implementation often have little to do with the technology itself, nor does it have anything to do with the teacher's comfort level with technology. What's impeding this successful implementation is a lack of strategy. And this lack of strategy has to do with what is the most effective way to integrate that technology into the classroom. So this is often why technology is seen by our teachers as more of a hindrance than a helping hand. About 3 years ago, a group of educators, data scientists, technology experts and researchers, as well as concerned parents, came together to figure out a way, how can we solve some of these issues? And that's how Aleph was born. Today, Aleph is actually 300 education enthusiasts who their main purpose is that they're thriving for is to drive change. Aleph's approach really boils down to 3 major pillars. The first is all about Aleph's unique framework. So this framework that is used really puts the student at the center of the learning. Students are able to take charge of and they're felt empowered to think about their own learning as well as how they are supposed to think. Learning in Aleph is both self-paced as well as socially situated. So the overall blended learning format that we use at Aleph, it really takes a combination of experiential face-to-face learning and it combines it with online, personalized, and self-paced learning. Our online instructional strategy uses differential learning and it presents the student with small bite-sized chunks of information. And then that moves the student along a series of really complex mental tasks, from remembering to understanding to then applying both strategic and extended thinking, and the use of scaffolded depths of knowledge. At each step, students are provided with frequent and immediate feedback, and the student's journey and their learning path is adapted accordingly. Another really important concept or component of the Aleph framework is also metacognition. So this is where our students are asked to reflect in their learning journal on how they're going to approach a lesson before they take the lesson. And then they use this as a way to take ownership of their learning, but also as a mechanism for them to start identifying strategies that work for them on how best to learn. Now, this online experience is also complemented with experiential learning, revision, and remediation, which provides, in the end, a very holistic learning experience for a student. And it helps them to unleash their creative and innovative side and really take the concept that they learned in that lesson to a deeper level. It's well known that students learn in different styles and mediums. So at Aleph, we felt, first of all, it was very imperative that we build our own content that goes into and follows our unique framework, but also that content needed to be engaging and it needed to stimulate our students. So when we built our content, it is full of rich multimedia. It uses interactive games and simulations, and also immersive technology like virtual reality to provide students with real-life experiences. In addition, the experiential learning kits that I mentioned earlier, those have also been built by us for all of our different subjects, some interdisciplinary, and it really provides our students with that opportunity, as I said, to really be creative and innovative and take those concepts to the next level. Our fourth approach, well, first it starts with, as a company, we really do pride ourselves in being an education company first. But don't get me wrong, technology is absolutely a huge part of this. But we weren't going to just pick any technology. It was imperative to us that what we were going to use as part of the Aleph approach, it had to be an enabler. But what does that really mean? Enabling technology meant it needed to be easy to use, it had to be intuitive, and we wanted our students to feel special. So how did we do that? Well, at the core of our technology is our learning platform. So this is where our teachers and our students spend the majority of their day. And for students, enabling technology means that it has to be super easy for them to get in, navigate to their lesson, and progress through it, and also to receive all that frequent feedback. But we also wanted to make them feel special. So we do that in a couple ways. So first of all, one of the first things that students get to do when they log in is they get to personalize their own avatar, which is a huge motivator for and engagement factor for our students. So it helps them to, reflect on their personality, maybe even some of their career aspirations are all indicated through the avatars that they use. Another way that we help to make our students feel special, of course, is the AI that helps to adapt those learning pathways to really cater to their individual needs. And then thirdly, keep them motivated. So the way that we keep them motivated is by providing them with frequent feedback on their progress and then rewarding them with stars and interactive experiences. Oh, jumped ahead. For teachers,
discussion is about to start in Stream C, upstairs in Capital Suite 9.
For teachers, enabling technology means making sure that it's easy and intuitive to interpret the data. So all that data and interactivity that we're capturing behind the scenes and what students are doing, we want to make sure that it's presented back to the instructor in a way that is easy to understand, in real time, and provides comparative data so that they can manage their classrooms effectively and really invoke change. So with our teachers, they're able to walk around their classroom with a tablet, and in real time, they can see how a student is progressing through a lesson. What this helps them to do is they're able to very quickly identify if a student is struggling, and maybe they need to tweak their learning strategy for that particular student, or look at the class as a whole and identify students they may want to potentially group together to do some collaborative learning. Another really excellent thing that they use this information for is to identify those high flyers who are excelling at the information and give them extra material to help keep them engaged and interested. Now for parents and guardians, enabling technology means providing them with an application that allows them to see what their child is learning so that they can help them at home and that they can become active participants in their child's learning journey. So we just talked about changing the framework and using this unique framework that Aleph has, and then adding in all this engaging and interactive content, and then putting it onto a platform that's enabling. But is that enough? The answer is simply no. Time and time again, we've seen very well-intentioned initiatives to bring, for example, technology into the classroom, or to digitize content, or even just to introduce a new teaching strategy. We see them fall short of the mark and making the impact and the change that we're really hoping for. And why is that? It's because we have not effectively managed the change. And I'm not talking about a one-size-fits-all workshop where in a day you sit all your teachers down and just teach them how to actually use a technology. And I'm certainly not talking about lecturing to teachers about how they are not to be lecturing to their students anymore. What this really boils down to is, at Aleph, we believe you need to teach your teachers using the same learning strategies and methodologies that we expect them to use to teach their students. So what does that mean, and how do we do that? Well, the first thing is we make it a priority to partner with our schools and our teachers. And we provide them with ongoing and continuous support, as well as we help them provide our teachers with instructional strategies that go way beyond just explicitly explaining how the technology works. So that means working with the teachers to, yes, provide them with the skills and the know-how on how to use the technology, but then also giving them opportunities to engage with their peers and in meaningful collaboration. And then share things like best practices and tips and tricks, and how to use all that great data that Aleph is providing to you to become laser focused on improving those students' outcomes and catering to their individual needs. And that's what's really going to make a difference, because after all, that is what it's all about. So together with Aleph's unique framework, complemented by the interactive and engaging content, technology then enables the whole experience, and then effectively managing the change, that is Aleph's holistic approach to helping education to provide the skills of the future. But don't just take my word for it.
So the best thing about the Alef platform is probably the fact that the facilitator is able to see real-time data of students during the lessons. So you can always see exactly where a student is. You can see if they've stopped, maybe they're having trouble with something, if they're using at a much faster pace than the others. Alef gave me the chance to test how blended learning is using technology and being able to be a facilitator in the classroom, and also by having formative assessments during each lesson to check the understanding of the students, not to have a binding information, but at the end check if that binding worked or not.
Alef videos because it's really to be exciting to enter, and it's giving more information, more memory.
So the Alef platform actually caters to all types of learners. So regardless of how a student learns, they have visual support, auditory activities, all sorts of kind of a wide variation of activities and learning styles are covered in the platform.
What's amazing about being a part of Alef is that we have constant professional development. Whenever we feel that we need to work until a certain point, there's always someone to train us. There's always someone to show us how to do things.
With Alef, I feel like I am in the future.
With Alef, I feel that I am in the future.
Okay, question for everyone in the audience. Who's actually been to the Aleph booth yet today? Raise your hand. Who's already been? Okay, I'm pretty sure you noticed we got a little bit of a theme going on. How many in this room have heard about UAE's mission to Mars? Raise your hand. Who's heard about the mission to Mars? Okay. Now, how many of you would actually like to experience going to Mars? There's got to be some people in the room. Come on. Okay, well, we have a treat for you. So that immersive technology that I talked to you about that we've built, we actually have a virtual reality experience to Mars that you can try out. And I have some VIP tickets. These are actually boarding passes that you can use to try out our VR experience and skip the line. But there's a test. All right, so to get some of these, and I'm looking at you guys in the front, let's see if you remember some of what I talked about. All right, if you can name either one challenge that I talked about and or one approach that Aleph is taking, you can get yourself a VIP ticket. All right. Managing the change, excellent. Enabling technology. Okay, anyone else? Come on. All right. Changing the framework and yes. Okay, great. I've got two more. Okay, you're dying to say something. Come on. The framework. The framework. Very good. Okay, there you go. And one more. Sorry? Exactly. And immersive content. Very good. Well done, everyone. But for to also check out what an Aleph school is like. So we have set up lessons, the lessons that I was talking about that use our framework with our interactive content, and we also have some experiential kits that you can check out. So please come by and check out our Aleph approach. Thank you all, everyone, for coming. And I would like to introduce who's coming next to the stage, Mr. Bilal Galib from Pitchworthy. Thanks, everyone. Oh, yes.
I asked about special education.